wasn't the building where they were filed?
The law library staff took
Fantastic story.
super solid trip.
It's a special story.
The law library staff.
This is a nice and comfortable room for files. So it's a little bit cool, it's a little bit humid, but it's perfect for paper. It will last here forever. We have some problem with acid in the papers, but I think we have the same problems. So we will process the files and keep them for very long. This is one of many rooms where the files are stored. It's a simple system. You see, you can move it with one finger and get access to any file. Before you find the file, you have to use this index card system, look for the correct number, and here we are. We could now use these files. 50% of the files are stored in Berlin. 50% of the MFS files are stored in our district offices. So this makes this unbelievable amount of 180 kilometers. And I saw that you had a close look at these interesting pictures. The same pictures are here. There are these very, very strange bin bags or paper bags. And there's a very special story about that. We had a short look at German democratic history, only 3 months. It took 3 months from October to January, when the State Security Service was dissolved. And in this time, of course, the State Security Service knew times were changing, and they tried to get rid of the files. But that was a problem. It was like a beleaguered fortress. The State Security Service had concentrated the officers and the files on the district offices and on the office here in Berlin. And people were observing what the State Security Service was doing. So they had no chance to order 100 trucks and get rid of the files and put them somewhere in a river or burn them in a big factory. So they had a problem. This large amount of files and how to get rid of these files. And they tried to solve this problem. In the beginning, they used the shredder machines. They had these small shredders, but shredders are not built to destroy kilometers of files. When we occupied this building, we found about 100 defect shredder machines. They were running hot, and the motors burned out. So no chance to do it with these machines.
But some were destroyed. Some must have been destroyed.
Yes. Some have been destroyed. So they were sitting on these hot files, trying to get rid of them, and then in the end they had the idea, okay, let's order bin bags and tear the files manually.
Oh my God.
And they did it over weeks. Imagine political situation was quite dramatic in the former GDR, and all these well-paid and high-trained Stasi officers sitting here in the cellars, tearing file by file. We did statistics. They produced 16,000 bin bags of manually torn files. So torn, every page was torn in between 4 to 20 pieces. We calculated it will be 600 billion pieces. So in the end, the officers were quite sure these files are destroyed. No one will ever get access to these files again. And we were, of course, we were dying with curiosity. What kind of files the state security officers would destroy in the last weeks of the State Security Service? We found some orders. We found orders which ordered the amount of written documents should be reduced. And the orders told, please reduce documents about people who are important in the political proceedings. Protect people who are working in West Germany for the State Security Service, and much more. So the orders were quite clear, of course. Don't destroy the unimportant files, please destroy the much more important files. So we were sitting on this mountain of 16,000 bin bags without knowing what's in these files.
And we started a very special task force in Nuremberg. There were 30 public servants in Nuremberg were out of their jobs. They had nothing to do for them. And we said, okay, do something useful with your time. You can take the bin bags and try something to do with it. And they were quite successful. It would be a job I would never like to do. Imagine in January your superior gets to you, you get one bin bag, and he will tell you, see you again in December, hope you are finished. But we were quite surprised. They did such an amazing good job. They did it manually, they reconstructed a lot of files. It took them 10 years to reconstruct 300 bin bags of files. But it was extremely interesting files. So we found files about bishops who have been informal collaborators. We found files about really important writers who have been informal collaborators. We found files about a complete organization no one knew before. It was a special organization, Arbeitsgruppe Förster. This special organization was working in West Germany and should, in case of tension and war, they should be a paramilitary organization. No one ever had heard about this group, just knew it from this torn bin bags. And that made much more appetite. So now we cannot do it manually. It will take us 600 years. So now we started a pilot project. We do it with an IT system. The German Fraunhofer Institute, that's just our MIT, they developed a computer IT puzzle system. This system will scan all these little puzzle pieces, and the computer will put the puzzle pieces together and print out the complete pages. This project just started this year. It took us 5 years to convince the politicians that we need the money. And because they all knew, maybe they knew there will be important files, maybe there will be important files about West Germany. We had a lot of problems to convince the political members, the members of the parliament, to give us the extra money. So they just gave me 6 million, and I can do a pilot project, reconstruct with this puzzle machine 400 bags. And if it's successful, I can discuss with them again if we can do more. So I think it's a perfect idea. We just make a sample, 400 bin bags. We will prove the machine, the IT system is working. We prove the files are interesting. And then we might discuss what to do with the rest of the leftover 15,000 bin bags of files. But I think the pilot project is a perfect idea. Maybe it's too expensive to reconstruct all 16,000 bin bags, so we could concentrate on special departments or concentrate on Berlin. There are a lot of ideas. But that's a quite interesting topic, and everything from Al Jazeera to BBC and ABC have been here reporting about this very, very special subject, because there's a nice story behind it, this historical story, there's this technical stuff in it about this puzzle machine. And okay, in 2 years we have the first results, and I'm looking quite forward.